my friends, let's start with the most interesting news. In Poland, the appearance of a so-called unidentified object that flew into the country from the territory of Ukraine has been reported. According to a Polish source, local residents observed a flying object moving at a tremendous speed. This happened in the vicinity of Svatove, the same village where a rocket exploded a year ago, coming from across the border. Eyewitnesses heard loud noises and whistling. The object was moving westward. According to Polish media, significant forces are mobilized in the area to conduct searches. There is currently no information about an explosion. It may turn out that this was only a temporary violation of Polish airspace and this unidentified object returned to Ukraine. The incident has been confirmed by the operational command of the Armed Forces of Poland.
In the morning, an unidentified airborne object entered the airspace of the Republic of Poland from the side of the border with Ukraine, and from the moment it crossed the border until the signal disappeared, it was observed by the radars of the country's air defense system. In accordance with applicable procedures, the operational commander of the armed forces mobilized the available forces and resources at his disposal.
In connection with this, the President of Poland has announced the convening of an urgent meeting with military leadership after the violation of the country's airspace from Ukrainian territory. The Polish leader stated that he had discussions with the Minister of Defense of Poland. The chief of the General Staff of the Polish Army was also present at the meeting. The Minister of Defense of Poland reacted to the accident with an unidentified object flying from Ukrainian territory to Polish territory. He emphasized that he is in constant contact with the President, Prime Minister, Chief of the General Staff, and the operational commander of the armed forces. Now, let's move on to the frontline overview. And let's start right away with the Kherson direction. The battle for the left bank continues here. And it seems that there are chances of success after all. This is because the Ukrainian Armed Forces continue to successfully hold their defense, and despite all the Russian offensive actions, the footholds remain under the control of the Ukrainian Armed Forces. There is also an active destruction of advancing Russians using FPV drones. Therefore, the likelihood of expanding footholds in the future exists. The occupiers daily describe that they don't have an advantage in the air, and their artillery with Korean ammunition cannot accurately target Ukrainian positions. Therefore, the shelling is chaotic and doesn't hit the necessary targets, which is very advantageous for us. As confirmation that the Ukrainian Armed Forces are successfully destroying Russians on the left bank, the Russians published a video confirming this information. Russian war correspondents described the situation as follows.
According to the situation in the evening of December 29, 23 in the area of Kherson. No change. Oncoming battles continue. The only bad thing is that the enemy continues to destroy our long-range artillery systems, MSTS, and Pions, which are located in the rear areas, with their means of destruction. Again, there was a stalemate. In the area of Kherson, we are not making progress. The commander does not know how to successfully eliminate the bridgehead. A military genius is needed, but there is no such genius in the Dnipro military command.
In the Zaporizhzhia direction, the occupiers continue their advances in the Robotyne area. While they haven't achieved success, the attacks persist and shelling continues. However, the overall intensity of enemy activity in this direction is not the highest. Over the past day, they launched 4 attacks. In the Vuhledar direction, the situation is more complex. After regrouping, the occupiers are heavily storming Ukrainian positions in the Staromayorsky area, attempting to capture the village by encircling it from 2 sides. There are also ongoing attempts to break through the fields towards Novodarivka. Despite their efforts, they face losses and retreat to their previous positions. In the Avdiivka direction, the situation is, of course, the most challenging. 14 attacks have already been repelled over the day, and President Zelensky visited their soldiers in this direction.
Здоров'я, шановні українці, українки. Авдіївка, наші позиції, наші хлопці. Україна тут захищає свої, захищає увесь наш народ, як і на всій лінії на передовій. Донеччина, Харківщина, Запоріжжя, Херсонщина, лівий берег. Це важко, це біль, це втрати. І це люди, які на собі тримають життя України. Тут життя виборюється. Ми вдячні усім бійцям, кожному солдату, матросу, сержанту, кожному офіцеру, які виносять цю війну на собі. Дякую всім вам, воїни. В Авдіївці разом з командою привітали воїнів з Різдвом, з Новим роком. Усі, хто на нулі, хто захищає нашу країну. Безмежна вдячність всім рідним, кожній родині наших героїв. І усім, хто допомагає, хто працює, щоб у хлопців на фронті було все необхідне. Усім в світі, хто вірить у нас і хто робить все, щоб Україна змогла більше. Пам'ятаємо, що вирішується в цій війні. Захищаємо нашу державу. Слава Україні!
In the area of the Kuk chemical plant, complex battles continue. The Russians periodically attempt to storm the plant itself and break through to the outskirts of the city. However, they are unable to make any progress, and the Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully maintain their defense. In the industrial zone, the battles persist as well. Occupiers daily try to infiltrate the outskirts of the city into the private sector, but the Ukrainian Armed Forces prevent them from establishing control, defeating all their groupings. Those who survive attempt to retreat to their former positions. In the Bakhmut direction, intense battles are ongoing in the Bohdanivka area. The occupiers are trying to advance in the vicinity of the railway and engage in combat within the village itself. Simultaneously, there is shelling by the Russians along almost the entire front line. Today, Chasiv Yar is under attack, and efforts are underway to surround it. Southward, in the Klishchiivka area, the Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully repelled all Russian attacks, and there is currently a regrouping. Attacks are only reported in the Avdiivka area, but they are unsuccessful and the front line remains unchanged. The Ukrainian Armed Forces on the ground also provide detailed information on the situation.
To the north of Bohdanivka, our comrades made a little collection. The meat continues to climb into our positions. In Klishchiivka, the faggots are trying to take the height, they stink. The worms continue to use chemicals, after which they hit with drones. Mass assaults on the Ivanova highway, comrades are trying to hold their positions. At this time all attacks have been repulsed. Yesterday, the comrades still managed to counterattack the faggots, exchanged some positions.
In the Siversk direction, there is unfortunate news. Heavy shelling continues and no new attacks are currently reported. However, regrettably, the results of the previous offensive actions confirm that the occupiers managed to capture a significant part of the village of Spirne. The Ukrainian Armed Forces had to retreat from some positions, and the enemy's advancement covered approximately 1 kilometer and 600 meters. Currently, there is no information about a counteroffensive by the Ukrainian Armed Forces in this area, so the situation remains unchanged. The defense is being maintained on new front lines. In the direction of Crimea, the occupiers persist in shelling, hoping to break the Ukrainian Armed Forces positions near the river and launch an assault. However, no offensive actions are currently observed and the front line remains unchanged. In the Svatove direction, the situation remains stable with no new attacks reported. Shelling continues but at a minimal level. In the Kupiansk direction, the situation is challenging but under control, despite an increase in the number of Russian attacks. There have been 12 assault operations in the past day, with the Ukrainian Armed Forces successfully repelling Russian attempts to capture Sinkivka. Along the front line, there is a significant amount of shelling, but the front line remains unchanged over the day. And that's all from me. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.